Doing great.
Awesome. So a little recovery from Thanksgiving, right?
Still recovering.
And today's December 1. What we'll do is we'll wait a couple minutes for any stragglers, and then we'll jump in. Um, it'll be pretty casual. Share some information with you guys, but like I said, we'll just wait for a couple minutes for some stragglers and go from there. It's interesting that we're doing it on December 1. So, you know, either folks have a mindset of, have I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish heading towards the end of the 2021, and other folks have that sense of urgency for, at what point am I going to set a game plan for 2022? Anyone care to share what boat you're in?
What was your question?
So I said we're either in two boats right now, right? Some folks are kind of feeling a sense of urgency and, have I done everything and accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish in 2021? Why did things maybe not turn out so well? And then others are kind of focusing on 2022 and have that sense of urgency, like I want to have a game plan and come out of the gates hot. Anybody feel one way or the other strongly?
Well, I'm a new agent, so I don't have anything for 2021. So I'm just trying to do the best I can to prepare for 2022.
Good, good. Anyone else? So, before insurance, I ran restaurants for Bill Miller Barbecue, so I was one of the most successful managers there. And my training manager used to say, "Fail to plan, plan to fail." Right? So a lot of interesting sayings. A few of them really, really are simple and hold true. So cool, cool. Um, I've got 11:02, so we'll wait another minute here, and then I'll share my screen and we'll get started. We'll get started. Let's see. Get ready here.
I just have a question for the group while we're waiting.
Yeah.
Since the new year's coming up in about a month, um, I'm trying to plan about the type of software to use for tracking expenses. I've heard QuickBooks. I've heard Quicken. Is there a preference one over the other? Was one more user friendly, or does it really matter? Or is there another product out there that might be better?
This is a good question. Anyone have any experience? I think we're working with we've got agents who are fresh out of square one invited, and we've got seasoned agents as well. Is that right, guys?
Yeah, I just use QuickBooks. It's got the mobile app on there, so it can track all of my mileage anytime I go to a showing or a closing or do an open house. And you can just snap a picture of your receipts on your phone, and it'll upload it right to there. So if I have to go buy sawing steaks or food or drinks for the open houses, it tracks everything for me right there in one spot on a mobile app.
For sure. Yeah, can't go wrong with QuickBooks, and you're right about that. The worst thing you can do is wait till the end of the month to enter all your expenses. The great thing about QuickBooks is you can literally do it at the gas station after you pump gas, etc. So that's cool. Awesome. So I've shared my screen. Let me know. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Let me know if you guys see Homeowners Insurance 101 on y'all's screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. That's what we need. That's what we need. All right. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in, and a little bit about why we're here today is we're here to add value for you guys. The bottom line is JB Goodwin is all about creating an environment of success for their partners, right? And I'm blessed to be a part of that in terms of the homeowners insurance realm. And of course, with homeowners insurance comes auto insurance. But at the end of the day, I'm an insurance resource for you guys. So the point of today's session is going to be to share knowledge. I'm real passionate about what I do. And so you'll see some sprinkles of marketing, branding mixed in there. I've got a degree from the university up there in Austin, just up the road. So I'm real passionate about what I do. I've been doing this for over 6 years now. But we'll jump right in. This is a pretty straightforward presentation. If y'all have questions, don't wait till the end. It's real casual. My job is to kind of help you guys understand how home insurance plays a role in the home buying process. More importantly, how to use it as a tool to add value, right? So why are we here? Like I shared with you, for knowledge. As a newer realtor, sometimes we're new to the industry. Maybe we're new to JB Goodwin because we like the idea of the education and the partnership that they provide. But at the end of the day, we're in the sales business. We're in sales, and it's a sell or starve environment. You know, I own my own franchise here, and it's sell or starve, and same thing with you guys. So confidence is key. Confidence on the battlefield is key, and that's why I'm here. To give you all a little bit more knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the more confident you can be when you're out presenting yourself, whether it's with your peers or prospects. I'm a resource. So this is not, hey, great presentation, Phil. Thank you so much. See you later. You guys will be able to, y'all will have my contact information, and you'll be able to draw on that. I have 7 agents in my office, and you can call on us anytime you have a need. So now you know you have someone in your corner to be able to answer questions and assist your clients, to help you guys be more of a resource to your clients. Trust, right? You want to gain your clients' trust. So the more knowledge you have, the more knowledgeable you are. Folks are analyzing you, whether you're trying to earn the opportunity to serve them in their real estate needs, or after you already have. You have to maintain that trust throughout the sales process, and it can be lengthy in real estate. So one of the ways you can do that is by having resources that can help those clients. So the more you're able to help someone, the more knowledgeable you are, you earn trust. And at the end of the day, our goal is to have influence, right? We want to influence transactions. We want to influence someone who is thinking whether they need to buy or sell. A lot of folks can't make decisions, and it's our job to help them make the best decision for their family. And once we have someone's trust and we can influence a transaction, then we're in control of how much money we make. Number 2, why are we here? This is huge, differentiation, right? In the San Antonio market, there's about 12,000 realtors. That's a very competitive marketplace. Now, when you break it down and start differentiating yourself against the competition, now we're talking about beating the competition. So to beat the competition, we must possess and utilize more knowledge and resources than they do, right? And you do that on every transaction. So the easiest way to separate yourself from the competition is to differentiate your product. You differentiate your product. Coke is different than any cola on the market. There's people who won't drink HEB cola, Pepsi cola, because they've differentiated themselves. And so what I'm saying is just being knowledgeable about insurance and having a resource that y'all can use and implement as part of your transaction, you're going to be different than your competitors. And anytime you're different, now you have less competitors. So here's an example of how it plays out in the marketplace, right? A client asks the top realtor, hey, what about home insurance? When do I need to buy it? Well, it's a simple question. Hey, the time to shop home insurance is during the option period. And that's it. I always tell attendees, if you were to make some flashcards about insurance, this would be one of them. Client's going to ask you, what about home insurance? When do I need to buy it? Other side, the time to shop home insurance is during the option period. You know, we're not giving whenever you feel like it. No, we want to shop for home insurance during the option period, because at some point during that quote, when I'm running a quote, I'm going to have to check the claims history on this house that your client is trying to buy. I'm talking about on the buyer's side right now. And if that house has had 3 different water claims totaling $60,000, well, we need to find that out during the option or negotiation period. So there is a time to shop insurance, right? And it's not just whenever you feel most comfortable. It's not when the transaction is smooth enough to where now you're not overwhelmed. We need to direct the transaction and roadmap it so they know at what point the insurance is going to come, when the inspection is going to come, when the appraisal is going to come. That way they're not surprised and they're not overwhelmed. So that's an example. And this is not rocket science. I'm not asking y'all to be insurance agents, but here's another example. Client says, what's home insurance for? What does it cover? Simple response: it protects your home and what's inside your home against things like fire, hail, and burglary. Like if you literally spat that out quickly when someone asks you, you're going to be like, my gosh, how long have you been doing this? You know, if you can answer questions like simple questions like this about title and about mortgage, now you're presenting yourself as as a experienced, resourceful realtor, right? And all you're doing is having a few basic questions and having the responses to them. So again, why are we here? Knowledge allows you to operate in confidence, earn your client's trust, be able to influence the transaction. Biggest reason I like it is because you have to differentiate yourself. A lot of realtors don't even use insurance as part of their value add, right? They let the lender take care of the insurance. That's okay, but at the end of the day, if you know an insurance agent who's going to take care of your client and add value, then you want to be the one to introduce that person, because at the end of the day, you're going to ask for client referrals and you're going to ask for 5-star Google reviews. So you can't get those unless you put you step out of your comfort zone. You know, a lot of people say, I don't refer this, I don't refer that, I got burned in the past. Then find someone else, because you have to refer, you have to be a resource, or else why use a realtor, right? Okay, so we're going to keep moving. Knowledge equals differentiation. I love this here. It says, make it so that if your prospects choose a different realtor, they're choosing less and they're accepting less. You know, and then you can sleep at night. You know, we don't win every sale here at the Phil Delgado Agency, but we know if someone chooses someone else, they're not getting the best coverage and the best service and the best insurance experience. Who's this guy, right? Well, that's me and my wife. We own the agency here in San Antonio in the Sigma building, where JB Goodwin has been for many years. They're fixing to head to some new digs, so we're excited about that. But we're going to stay here just down the road, a couple blocks down the road. But we're one of the top 10 Goosehead agencies in America. That's what we operate and run here. There's close to 2,000. So we're in the top 0.5%. Does everyone see this slide, guys? Who is this guy? Okay.
No.
Hey, yeah, Phil, I'm not seeing it. This is Scott.
No? Okay, let's see what we got here.
I have the "Why Are We Here" slide.
Okay. We should be on "Who is this guy?" Does anybody see that slide?
No.
No. Why are we here?
All
Is
right.
the one that we're looking at.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Let's see. So I'm going to stop presenting and start presenting again. It must be something with Google.
There we go.
Who's this guy?
There it is.
All right, who's this guy? So like I said, we operate one of the top 10 Goosehead agencies in America. Goosehead is an independent insurance agency. There's almost 2,000 franchises in this country. So through hard work and just a servant spirit, we're in the top 0.5% of our peer group. So we're really good at what we do. And again, we're just blessed to be part of the JB Goodwin family. So we're a friend and partner of JB for over 5.5 years, 6 years now. Like I mentioned, I got me and my wife both have degrees from UT up the road. So we're having a tough year with football, but we're kind of used to it. So we can always fall back on our academics. So that's what I fall back on. And then what we're about is faith, family, friends, and hard work, right? You want to kind of know a little bit about the people you do business with and trust your partner, your clients with. So we're switching slides now. We good? What is home insurance? How does it work?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
So it's a contract. A home insurance policy is a contract between an insurance carrier like Travelers, Nationwide, Progressive, Allstate, Farmers, and the named insured, okay? And it's called a policy. That contract is called a policy. It provides protection for the home, the structure, the contents, what's put inside of it, and it provides liability protection. Someone slips, falls, gets hurt on your property, your homeowner's policy is what's going to provide the finances to defend yourself or to pay out any lawsuit should you lose, should you have a judgment against you. In the industry, we call it an agreement. The insured agrees to pay a premium every year, and the carrier guarantees to protect you against covered perils. Perils are things like hail, fire, burglary. Those are called perils. The benefit is that if there's a loss, the insured is restored to where they were before the loss. The carrier keeps the premium in exchange for peace of mind if there's no loss. Okay, so people say, I've been paying insurance for 10 years and it's such a waste. Well, the next time a hailstorm blows through, I guarantee you that guy's glad he has homeowner's insurance with hail coverage on it. So it's the peace of mind is important. So That's what we have there. Let's see. Okay, I love this slide right here, and this is another knowledgeable. If you know these on, this is another flashcard slide, right? So what's home insurance versus home warranty and mortgage insurance? Believe it or not, clients call us all the time and they say, I need to get a home warranty or I need to get mortgage insurance, and they don't know the difference. So and it's nobody's fault. Half the time when realtors or lenders are explaining things to people, they're not listening, right? Uh, but you can help them out. So home insurance protects your home and what's inside your home against perils like fire, hail, and burglary. A home warranty is a service or contract that covers the cost of maintaining household systems or appliances. And then mortgage insurance, of course, is an insurance policy that protects the lender if the borrower defaults on payment. So this is another one of those slides where, it's not high-end stuff, high-level thinking stuff, but believe it or not, sometimes our clients ask us questions and we know the answer, but we just can't spit it out because we don't get asked every day. This is a question you're going to get asked probably, depending on how busy you are, once a quarter to once a month. But again, look for those opportunities where you can confidently respond to basic questions and earn a client's trust. This is one of those areas where you can help a client and be a resource for them. So this is a good slide, and I can make these slides available to you guys as well. So what's covered and what's not. So this is an example of some of the perils, right? Your basic perils we'll get to this later, but there's different types of homeowners policies. There's some that just cover basic perils: fire, wind and hail, explosion, riot, civil commotion. You could be covered against as little as 8 named perils. That's called a named peril policy. Now you can get an expanded named peril policy like Allstate sells. I'm an Allstate agent. I don't sell Allstate homeowners policies because they're named peril policies. They'll include your first 2 columns. If something happens that's not on this named peril list, there is absolutely no coverage. That's why a named peril home policy is not the best policy for your clients. What you want is an all-risk open peril policy. The contract is going to say you're covered for everything under the sun except for a short list of exclusions. Now the insurance company is listing a third column. The only thing they're listing is what we see on our third column, and they say, hey, you're covered for everything under the sun. Your dwelling is, except for a short list of exclusions. Here are those exclusions. Very broad coverage. If the insurance company didn't exclude it, you're automatically covered, and you want to have an all-risk open peril policy. It's called an HO3 or HO5 policy. Again, we can go back if we have any questions, okay? All right. Why do I need homeowners insurance? So there's a personal reason, right? We do literally want to protect our assets. This is our biggest investment. Our furniture, sometimes, these are our personal property is valuable to us. So there's a personal reason why you want to buy homeowners insurance, or your client does. Also, there's liability protection, so it protects your financial assets, protects your bank account. And after this third point here, I'm going to answer a question from David. The third reason, and the reason that their insurance is involved in every homeowner's purchase transaction except for cash purchases, is because the mortgage company is not going to loan money to someone who doesn't submit a proof of, they call it evidence of insurance, an EOI. That bank, Cheryl, James Mosley, Ginger, Michelle Boast, everybody's going to want a copy of your binder, your client's binder, before that loan is clear to close. And that's where we come into play, and that's where we develop relationships with mortgage lenders, because a lot of folks don't know where to shop, or our lenders see tons of homeowners policies every day, and when your client gives them a policy and the price is out of line with the market, they're going to say, you know what, I'm going to share your name with the insurance agent we know and trust. He's going to reach out and see if he can get you a better price or lower deductibles. So that's kind of how the homeowners insurance comes into play. David, you had a question?
Yeah, there's a 2-part question. First part is, what's the difference between an HOA3 and HOA5? I think you mentioned the difference between the policy. And then when you see the policies, you said they're out of line. Why would policies be so much out of line between one company and another for the same type of coverage?
Okay, so I'm going to answer the first question. The difference between an HO3 and an HO5. And an HO3 covers the dwelling, the structure at all risk open peril. Like I shared with you what that means. It means you're covered for everything under the sun except for a short list of exclusions. The HO3 covers the dwelling at all risk open peril. Your contents, what you put inside the home, are covered under expanded or broad named perils. Okay, so strongest coverage on the home, the dwelling is expanded named peril. So let me see if I can go back here. Let's see. Let me see what we got. There we go. Okay. So like here's an example of these perils. So on a HO3, your house is covered under all risk open peril, covered for everything under the sun except for a short list of exclusions. And your contents, your furniture, electronics, pots, pans, clothing, are covered under columns 1 and 2. Okay, and that's what 95% of the homeowners policies on the market are sold and bought, and that's the best plan for most people. Now an HO5 is like a homeowner's policy on steroids. I see Sue on here. One of Sue's first referrals to me was David Seldner. Bought $1 million house, a beautiful home. He had very expensive contents, so we sold him an HO5, which not only covers the home as all risk open peril, but now your contents are covered under the same all risk open peril contract. So it's just a stronger homeowners policy, and it strengthens, it provides the same level of all risk open peril coverage over your contents as well. Okay, so that, does that answer your question, your first question? Okay.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Second question is easy, right? I'm going to keep to the second question. Why are so many different homeowners insurance companies charge different premiums for the exact same coverage? Well, the companies who are most expensive in the marketplace right now are State Farm and USAA and Farmers. Who do we see on TV paying Aaron Rodgers, Stephon Curry? It's these companies, right? And who's sponsoring these stadiums? So if you look at its cost structure, so to be honest with you, that's the real answer. All homeowners policy forms, contracts are registered with the state of Texas. They're not selling any contract that's not available and that I don't sell through my independent carriers. You know, I have some companies who are on the higher or who charge a little bit more. Safeco is owned by Liberty Mutual. You know, MetLife, Farmers I have, but it's through a different program. Travelers can be a little bit on the high end. And then some carriers also concentrate in certain regions and certain types of homes. So if they suffer a terrible loss because of a tornado, an act of God, then they're going to have to recoup those losses, and their rates are going to go up the next several years. Okay, not every insurance company. State Farm, I have some carriers who don't write on tier 1 and 2 on the coast. I have some who that's where their strength is. So a lot of it depends on their expense, their budgets, their marketing, and how much they pay their executives, how many layers of executives they have. And then a lot of it depends on how many losses they've taken. If they were heavy in a certain region of the country, then they're going to have to recoup those losses. Does that answer that question?
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate you differentiating that.
Yeah, and the most important thing is they're not offering anything that we are not offering or any other company's not offering. Insurance is all about marketing, I'm telling you. Okay. Is all home insurance the same? No way, Jose, right? We talked about policy forms in length, so I'm going to skip. But if you look at your declaration page, you're going to see these acronyms or these abbreviations: HOA, HOA plus, HO2. That's going to tell you that you have a named peril policy. HO3, HOB, HO5 is going to tell you that you have an all-risk open peril policy. The payout method, right? So we want to get paid out at replacement cost. The easiest example is to think of a roof. A 10-year-old roof covered at replacement cost. A hailstorm blows through, the insurance company is going to pay out the cost to put a brand new roof on there minus your deductible. Let's just say it's $15,000 minus a $3,000 deductible. They're going to give you $12,000. Now, if that roof is put on an actual cash value schedule, depreciated schedule, that 10-year-old roof, let's just say it's a 30-year shingle, they're going to depreciate 33%, 10 years out of that 30-year life. And that $15,000 roof, now they're only going to pay you out $10,000 minus your $3,000 deductible. Now, if you have an actual cash value on your roof, you're going to get $7,000 to replace your $15,000 roof. $8,000 comes out of pocket, okay? That's important because Liberty Mutual, we're Liberty Mutual agents, and their standard quoting, their default in the quoting platform is a scheduled roof. Same thing with Allstate. State Farm sells a product that has a scheduled roof just so they can offer a lower premium and compete in the marketplace. So that's the difference between a replacement cost and actual cash value. Coverage amounts, right? This is man, I've been doing this class for a while. So back when I started, we would start looking at homes, KB Homes, D.R. Horton Homes at $110 a square foot. Well, now we're up to $133 a square foot for your basic out-of-the-box home, and we're insuring homes nowadays for $166, $200 a square foot, plus an extension if need be. But coverage amounts are different between different policies. And you'll see over here, back in 2013, and this has not changed, about 60% of homes are underinsured by an estimated 17%. That means if it costs $300,000 to rebuild a home, that house is underinsured by $51,000. $249,000 is how much that agent sold that client coverage for their home. And why would an insurance agent underinsure a home? Does anyone know?
Save money for the client.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because here's how insurance is sold 50% of the time in a real estate transaction. This is some inside information. You work with anyone at Premier, Cheryl, Ginger, Michelle. What's going to happen is they're going to send me or Jessica an email and say, hey, we have a buyer who's just went under contract. Contact them and take care of their home insurance. That's the right way to do it. I've been doing this for almost 7 years. 50% of lenders have 3 insurance agents that bring them tacos every that way they can have tacos on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and happy hours, etc. So here's how the insurance gets sold in the other half of the industry, right? A contract comes on the lender's desk. The lender sends an email to 3 different insurance agents, gives that insurance agent the client's name, date of birth, property address, and says, hey, I've got a buyer. Send me your best insurance quote. That insurance agent quotes that client blind, never talking to the client. Matter of fact, lenders don't let insurance agents talk to their clients in this industry. That's crazy. We stopped doing business with lenders like that a long time ago. When I started, I took anything I could get, but it's interesting that is still the MO. And what happens is these insurance agents know they're competing against 2 other insurance agents. So in order to win the business, they're going to send the cheapest quote, right? So what are they going to do? They're going to cut the coverage. They're going to raise the deductibles. They're going to put the roof on a schedule. So that's another reason why there's differences in coverages on insurance policies. And that's another reason homes are underinsured, right? So that's why I tell realtors, if you're passing the insurance along to your lender, you should ask them a question. How do you handle the insurance? Oh, we have 3 insurance agents. They think they're going to be doing you a favor for your client. Oh, we shop 3 different insurance agents to get quotes for your client. Red light, get rid of them, man. They're not letting 3 different insurance agents talk to their borrower. That's unnecessary. That's overboard, right? They should have one insurance agent they know and trust. They should say, oh, we have an insurance agent we know and trust, and we ask them to call your client and get them the best insurance. And at the same time, we tell them to get a quote from their current insurance agent. That way they're not, quote unquote, there's a small fear of steering in this industry. It's a false fear. But the way you get over that is to simply say, hey, now's the time to get a quote from your insurance agent. I'm going to have the insurance agent I work with call you and get you a comparison quote. Boom, that's it. It's very simple, and you can do that with lenders as well. Okay, you got to get pre-qualified. I'm not too sure how much you know about that. I'm going to have my lender call you. You can also go online and look and research lenders. Boom, simple as that. You don't want you don't want your relatives giving their coworker 3 realtors' names when they say that they're in the market for buying a house. You know what I mean? You want to be the only one whose name that they give, and you're going to work hard to earn that trust and that confidence. So got a little bit off track there, but it's important that y'all know some inside information, because if you truly want to help your clients, you're going to make insurance part of your process, and you're not going to be scared to be a resource and to use influence. What's up, David?
Could you, on your slide here, it talks about different type of, water type damage. Mm-hmm. Could you explain the differences between those, please?
I will, because this is a huge. In Texas, there's 4 different types of water coverages that are available. The first one is the only one that comes standard on a homeowner's policy. The next 3, an agent has to add and charge extra for, which is why they don't do it. And that's honestly the way we communicate it to when we're going over an insurance policy with a client, we tell them that. So the sudden and accidental is your typical water leak. It's a supply line to the water heater, a pipe in the wall, a line under your sink, or perhaps you put a load of laundry in the washer. You go to see the movies, you go to church, you come back, and there's water all over your floor. That's sudden and accidental discharge of water. This is typically included in your standard homeowner's policy. It's not something you can add or subtract, and it's always insured at the same amount as the home. Now, the next three, backup of sewers and drains. So the plumbing system backs up. The commode on the second floor backs up. Maybe, family came over for Thanksgiving. Kid puts an action figure down the commode. 2 days later, the commode's backing up, and you don't know about it until you see water coming through the ceiling. That's backup of sewer and drains, okay? It also could come from the pressure in the plumbing system through the city. It could come through your drains. Here in Texas, it's more backup through the commodes, and that's important coverage, especially on a two-story home. But it's not standard. And some companies and some quotes will say backup is included, but how much? Allstate includes $5,000. After your deductible, that's not enough coverage. Water foundation coverage, this is big. There's no such thing as foundation insurance in Texas. Shifting, cracking, expanding. That's just wear and tear or poor workmanship, and there's no such thing as insurance for that. What there is coverage for are the plumbing lines within the foundation. If you develop a slab leak, I tell clients, you go out, you work on the yard, and you notice every time you work on you water your flowers, the left side of your slab is damp. Then it looks like it's getting more wet, and there's some mildew growing on it, and now your water bill's through the roof. You call a plumber, the plumber says, I've got some good news and bad news. Good news is I found the water leak. Bad news is it's in your slab. It's a line within your slab. We're going to have to tunnel, dig through, excavate some of that slab, that concrete, fix this little PVC pipe, and put the slab back. Could cost $10,000, $15,000. That's what water foundation coverage is for, and it's important. It's important. It really is important. We include it on all homes. And then the fourth one is water seepage. Interesting. Some companies don't offer water seepage. It's not available no matter how much you want to pay for it. It's a slow leak that you don't notice for 3, 4, or 5 weeks. So similar to sudden accidental, but it's a slow leak. What happens is people are calling insurance companies, I've got a claim, I've got a water leak. And the adjuster goes out there, looks at the leak and says, well, my gosh, you've got a leak, but it's been going on for 5 weeks. Like, how much, at what point are you responsible for recognizing it and then filing the claim? Now you want us to fix all this ensuing damage? No, thank you. We're going to deny the claim. The homeowner finds an attorney. They file a lawsuit, and insurance companies started just saying, you know what, water seepage is an exclusion. It's an exclusion. You have to buy it if you want it, and some companies you can't even buy it because they don't want to get into that litigation. So that's what water seepage is. And I tell people nowadays, if you got a home built before 2000, you have to have water seepage. But after the freeze of 2021, we're selling it on every home, even newer homes, because sure, we heard about all the busted pipes. But what about the pipes that are on the brink or maybe have a slow leak in them right now? We just don't know. So very important to have all 4 water coverages. And here's the key. When you work with a broker, we're going to get your client the coverage that they need and deserve without sacrificing price. Like I tell clients all the time, we're going to get you the best of both worlds, your coverage, and then we're going to work as hard as we need to find the right price. And that's what we promised. That's why we're so successful. Any questions on this slide before we move on?
Yes, sir. I had to type the question in. So does the water seepage also cover your irrigation system, or is that separate coverage?
Totally separate coverage. And your irrigation system typically is not a part of your dwelling, your structure, right? So normally it has to be something that's attached and fastened. Now, what can be covered, it could be the plumbing system related to your swimming pool. Okay, but typically, remember, our deductibles, even a low deductible is $1,000. So your standard 1% deductible is going to be about $3,000. So I mean, there's not much that on a typical sprinkler system, the damage is typically going to fall under your deductible. If it's caused by an animal or something like that, or even it's not typically part of your dwelling. Good question though. All right. Here's so we share this website with all our clients. The state of Texas has a website for insurance. It's Office of Public Insurance Counsel. It's pretty cool. Every carrier has their policy forms, their contracts registered with the state of Texas, and you can do a drop down and compare your insurance carrier with the one that I or another agent's trying to sell you, and give you a summary of the coverages available. Again, this is something we share with all of our clients. We want our clients to be knowledgeable so they can make best decisions. Flood insurance, this is big, right? Do I need it? So if the property's in a special flood hazard area, the mortgage company is going to demand flood insurance in addition to hazard insurance. You see hazard insurance, they mean homeowners insurance, but flood insurance is a separate policy. So they're going to demand that your client purchases flood insurance as well if they are in a high-risk flood zone. The ones where no flood insurance will be required are zones B, C, and X. Now, any property can experience flooding. We're just talking about the ones that are going to be required to carry flood insurance. You know, in Houston, I think 80% of the homes that filed flood claims back when the hurricane came were not in a high-risk flood zone. So flood insurance, you know, and it can be very expensive, but you always want to run a flood determination on a house that you are listing for sure, right? And we'll get into that on the next slide. But what is flood? It's an overflow. It's when water comes into the house from outside. And it has to be an area of land more than 2 acres and land that's normally dry. Water has to come in from the outside over thresholds or in through the windows, okay? Not necessarily seeping in through the bottom. So rising water. Here's another great slide. When you're on the buyer's side, look for the flood disclosure. There's properties in flood zones that you would never think of. Here in San Antonio, there's 410 and Culebra is notorious for a flood zone, all the way up to the Tazewell area. I mean, you can never assume that a property is not going to be in a flood zone. We run a flood quote for every property, no matter what. It's part of our QC demands that we do it. Ask for a current flood policy. If you're a buyer's agent, hey, ask the listing agent for a current flood policy, and then ask for an elevation certificate. Okay, an elevation certificate is a survey that literally tells us how high that particular home is above or below in relation to the base flood elevation, right? Without an elevation certificate, we can sell a flood policy, but it's going to be a generalized rating for a area, a neighborhood. Well, you can sometimes lower the cost of flood insurance with a specific elevation certificate for that home, and then get home and flood insurance quotes. If you're working with a buyer. Now, it can be a challenge when you're working with someone whose mortgage is paid off, because they're not going to be required to have a flood policy anymore. So they're not going to have a current flood policy. They may not have an elevation certificate, right? So a lot of times buyers are just going to move on to the next property. If a house is too hard to buy, if anything is too hard to buy, insurance, shoes, blue jeans, people are going to go on to the next vendor. So that brings us to when you're a listing agent. Hey, verify the flood zone when you're a listing agent on every house. Ask your seller for a copy of their current flood policy and ask for an elevation certificate. If they don't have an elevation certificate, then you need to call us or call your insurance partner and have them run a flood quote so you can put it in the listing binder. Make it easy for people to buy that property. And I always tell people to encourage the seller to purchase an elevation certificate. Oh, it's $500. I'll let the buyer buy it. The buyer ain't gonna buy it before they put an offer in. They don't even know if they're gonna buy the house. You have to make it easy to sell a home now. And now today's market, you might get around it, but I would want to be a professional, and that comes with that influence. Hey, we're gonna have to buy an elevation certificate. I have a survey that we're gonna contact, and we'll get a quote on that. It'll make it easier for us to sell this property and to sell it for more. If there's no way to tell how much the insurance is going to cost, you're not going to be able to get a premium for that property. So ask the insurance partner for a flood quote.
Hey, Phil, I've got a question. Are
Yes,
you
ma'am.
saying that we should ask for the elevation certificate on a property, whether it is in a flood zone or not?
No, ma'am.
Or
Only
specifically
if it's
for
in
the
the flood
ones?
zone.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Only if it's in
Thank
the
you.
flood zone. Yeah, there won't be one if the property's not in the flood zone. There'll be no need for it. Yeah, definitely. And it won't affect the premium, to be honest with you. You're getting the best rate if you're not in a flood zone and you buy flood insurance. So you won't go any lower than the lowest rate. Okay, and that's important. So the main thing is just find out whether these properties are in a flood zone or not. Clue report. This is where we start talking about using insurance as a tool to add value to differentiate yourself. A clue report is a report that shows home insurance claims made on a property and by an applicant, right? Just like on car insurance, if I have a claim on a car and I get into an accident and I go buy another car and I try and buy insurance, that claim is going to follow me. Well, same thing when I file claims on my home insurance. And then I try and, let's see. Okay. I'm getting a note from Canada. Okay. So your claims are going to follow you in your buyer. You're working with a buyer. So number one, the clue report is a report showing claims on a property and by the applicant. We're more concerned about the property when you're on the buyer side, and it's generated during the quoted process. So here's how you implement a clue report. Hey, one of the things that I'm going to do for you when we find that property and we go under contract, I'm going to connect you with my insurance agent. Not only is he going to save you money, and he's going to get us a clue report, and it's going to tell us if the seller has filed any claims on this home, and we can verify the seller's disclosure. And what we're really looking for is, hey, a clean clue report, that's going to give the buyer more confidence, right? Just like a clean inspection. And that's something that you provided them. That's something that all you did was connect them with your insurance agent via an email connection or a text, group text. And now, not only are we saving money on their insurance, but we're giving them some peace of mind. Okay, cool. There have been no prior insurance claims. But maybe there was an insurance claim and there was a $15,000 hail claim. Well, okay, well, let's let the inspector know so he can be sure that it's a new roof or a newer roof. If it's not, well, then we have a little bit of discussion with the listing agent. Hey, man, my client was shopping for home insurance and there's a $15,000 roof claim on this house 2 years ago, but this roof is over 10 years old. Oh man, I'm not sure how to explain to my buyer that your seller pocketed the money, right? It's all about negotiation and leverage at this point. Because at some point we're going to ask for concessions. We're going to ask for repairs. And if you're, depending on how intricate and detailed you are about your business, you want to use every tool available to have the upper hand and to help and serve your clients. And that's why you have to use a clue report. At the end of the day, it's going to give them confidence that the house was clean, or if there was a $15,000 water damage, that we can ask the seller to give us invoices. Where was the leak and what was done to repair it? Did we use Joe Blow who works on the weekends for a 6-pack of beer, or did we use one of the top firms in the city in terms of remodeling and repairs and construction? And these are all great questions, but you're not going to have the opportunity to bring these points up and to present yourself as an expert unless you use your resources, right? So a clue report shows the date of the loss, the type of loss, fire, hail, water, theft. And it shows the amount of the loss, and it'll show if it's open or closed, meaning paid out. So it's a good resource. You should really think of it in terms of the inspection and insurance. That's what I tell people all the time. When you win an offer, after you finish celebrating and your feet hit the ground, your first thought is inspection. We'll put a 2 up on top of that. Inspection and insurance. Okay, and I'll share with you guys the email connection template that JB Goodwin uses, that agents use to send an email to the client as soon as the offer is accepted, and then they CC my wife Jessica, and it bridges us together, and we take it from there. It has the property address, it introduces us professionally, it even has a little video, for a 2-minute video on Homeowners Insurance 101. So you're adding value. Even if they don't use us, you're adding value, and that we're talking about that differentiated buyer's experience. So it's free. Sometimes realtors call, how much does a clue report cost? It costs number one, 2 things have to happen. You have to have the confidence to connect us with your buyer. And then number 2, your buyer has to give us 10 minutes of their time. And we're going to save them $500 to $1,000 and get them a free clue report. And it's as simple as that. Any questions on the clue report? I'll be sure that what will happen is towards the end of this section here, I'm going to ask y'all guys to text me y'all's name and email address, and then I'll email y'all a copy of that email connection template so you can save it on your folder, on your computer, on your laptop, on your insurance folder. You should have an insurance folder where you put little things, clue reports and stuff like that. Why is the clue important? You can uncover undisclosed claims. Talked about that. Verify repairs. Talked about that. Here's a big one. Anticipate insurability challenges. Sue knows there's a firm here in San Antonio, Phyllis Browning, right? Really, really, they position themselves as a high-end realty brokerage. I had a Phyllis Browning agent I work with. He says, Phil, my client needs insurance by 2 o'clock, or they're going to have to push closing back. And I'm like, how did it get this far in the process? Well, it's because it wasn't part of their process. As soon as I get a contract, I'm going to schedule the inspection and I'm going to send the email for insurance. Now we're finding out about insurability challenges early on in the process where we can make adjustments, where we've already explained to the customer that there's some turbulence in a real estate transaction. Don't be alarmed. I've done this before. But when it's 1 day before closing or 3 days before closing, and we find out that the house has had 3 water claims or a fire claim and it's uninsurable, now it's not a smooth, referable transaction and client experience. So you can either control the transaction or you can react to the transaction. So you want to anticipate insurability challenges. Remove the unknown, just like an inspection. Why do we pay $350 for an inspection? To remove the unknown. The clue report can remove more of the unknown, provided the buyer comfort and confidence necessary to complete a transaction. The biggest reason you want to implement the clue report is because other realtors don't do it. Okay, business is all about differentiation, and this is something that's free. You don't have to go to classes or pay the classes for it. You don't have to buy a tool. You're not a contractor buying a new saw. It's free. It's free. All you got to do is send an email to your client and CC Jessica.Delgado@Goosehead.com, and you've taken your real estate game to the next level, and you've helped your clients. That's the only reason any of this works, guys, is because we're helping clients. If I was here, my dad's a State Farm agent, so I can say this. If I was a State Farm agent here pitching y'all to send me your clients, it wouldn't work because I wouldn't be helping your clients. I'd be overcharging them for insurance and possibly having to sell them less coverage to win the deal because they might be in a DTI situation with the lender where we're working within an insurance budget. The only reason all of this works, guys, is because we're servants and because we have the tools and resources necessary to help your clients. If you're a person of integrity and you have the education and skills necessary to help your clients, I argue all the time that it is your duty to be influential and to take control of the transaction and to make sure your client's not making mistakes. That's what we're here for. There should be a clue report video. I know that we're going to do a clue report training as well later on, so stay tuned for that. Beth will let everyone know. How are we doing? Okay, how to buy home insurance. I'm gonna try and I'm going to continue plugging along. I appreciate y'all's time, and I want to value that. Exclusive agents. That's my dad right there. He's still a State Farm agent. He only sells State Farm. At one point, he was the biggest State Farm agent in Texas. Well, now people are tired of paying too much for insurance. And that fear factor of, well, when you have a claim, we're going to pay it. No one else will. That's not flying anymore because it's not true. He doesn't say that, but that's all that. I mean, that's their pitch nowadays. They're trying to win your business by fear. Whether it's USA or State Farm. And of course, we're independent agents, we're brokers, we sell the policies of many different companies known as carriers. A carrier is a different insurance company. We have a full portfolio. Basically, we offer everyone except USA and State Farm with a few exceptions. So that's why we're successful. Here's another great slide. What does home insurance cost? And this goes back to the question that David was asking. What determines the cost of home insurance? Realtors used to call me, hey, Phil, how much is the home insurance on this house? Well, who's buying it? It's different for every individual. Why? Because look at the number one factor determining the price of home insurance, the credit rating of the buyer. This is why we run quotes twice, one with the husband first, the wife second. Then we literally flip-flop it and run the quote again with the wife first and the spouse second because they have different insurance profiles and credit scores. We're going to get two different prices, believe it or not, even though they're married. So credit rating of buyer. Past claims matter. Again, this is why we need to shop the insurance during the option period. The age of the home is a factor. Construction type, discounts, right? Package auto discount is real. Education discount. See, that's why these lenders who are shopping insurance without letting the clients talk to the insurance agent are doing them a disservice. They can't ask, how old is the roof? What's your highest level of education? Whether it's right or wrong, an engineer with a master's degree is going to pay for less insurance than someone with a high school diploma or even a bachelor's degree. Insurance companies love engineers. It's just crazy. Dwelling coverage amount is the least rated factor. And that's what lenders use to estimate the insurance profile, the insurance cost when they're pre-approving or pre-qualifying your client. So it's important to get accurate numbers in there sooner rather than later. And this is a great slide right here. Any questions on this slide? Cool, cool, cool. All right. The information needed to generate a quote, like literally, this is really what we need to do our job. The client's name, the spouse's name, phone number, email, the property address. Hey, Sue, what do we got? Oh, yeah, you're muted.
Sorry, can you go back to the discounts? I'm not familiar with what's available there.
Yep, so discounts. So the biggest discount is going to be a tie between bundling, packaging your auto, right? And age of roof, believe it or not. Age of roof is a tremendous discount. And a lot of times what we do when we quote a home is we go to realtor.com and we look at the listing. And a lot of times it'll say new roof or roof just installed. Some clients, believe it or not, some buyers don't know that they're so busy, they don't know the age of the roof on these homes. So as a realtor on the buyer side, ask that question, you know, how old is the roof? And if it's less than 5 years old, be sure that your buyer knows it, and if you have connected the insurance agent, that the insurance agent knows it as well. So package auto discount, age of roof, and then education and occupation is also a rating factor. Construction type, a brick home is going to get a better rate than a wood frame home, meaning wood siding. So you got brick, you got wood siding. Also on the brick side, you got hardy plank because it's man-made and what they call cement fiber. That gets the same rating as brick. So hardy plank. Hey man, this house is 4 sides hardy plank. You're gonna get a better insurance rate than if it was really wood. Plus, you're gonna have to paint it less. It's gonna last longer than wood. See, these are little things that you can point out when you're showing a home to put to show your knowledge. And it's nothing that's not rocket science. So brick, hardy plank. Frame, wood siding, and stucco. Stucco goes on that side. So that's another example of discounts. Now, some of our carriers offer first responder discounts. Licensed educators, first responders. We can get discounts on that as well. So that's our job, is to uncover every available discount, which is why we need to talk to clients. You know,
Hey, Phil?
that's what it works. Yes, sir.
Quick question about the roof.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the type of roof, what types of roof are rated the best as far as insurance purposes go? Is it a tile roof, a shingle roof? What type of roof would you consider to be the best as far as rating for the insurance?
So really architectural shingle, dimensional they also call it, right? In the old days, and some of the houses still have and the man, my neighbor in Encino Park got a new roof put on, and it's not dimensional, you know. And so it probably there was no hailstorm, so you probably paid it out of pocket. We got standard 3-tab shingles, okay? But I still got my 2012 when I bought the house, and it's architectural, just meaning it's dimensional. Those are going to get better ratings. You're not really going to get a better rating on a steel roof, because it's more expensive to replace if there's a hailstorm, right? Now here's the key, man. Here's the key. 33% of companies offer coverage for cosmetic hail damage, non-structural hail damage. So a lot of people out there, if you're working with a buyer and they're buying a house with a metal roof, you have to connect them with us. Their insurance agent is not going to tell them that cosmetic damage, non-structural hail damage is not covered. I got a gentleman in Canyon Lake with an $800,000 house who has Allstate, and Holden Roofing went out there, and Allstate denied his claim because it was cosmetic damage. His roof has dents in it, but it's not affecting the ability of that roof to perform, so they're not going to pay out on that claim. So they didn't have cosmetic damage coverage on that metal roof. This is Allstate. You're in good hands. It's ridiculous. So a little rabbit trail there, but on metal roofs, if they cost more, so you're not really going to get a break. It's really any newer roof less than 5 years old, you're going to see a discount. Less than 2 years, huge discount. So always let us know. You know, if the roof's part of a transaction, they're going to replace the roof. Make sure that the insurance agent on the deal knows that. Okay. All right. Did that answer your question, Sue?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to slip through this slide. The point of this next slide, it's impossible for someone to do their job as an insurance agent without talking to the client. This is literally all the information we need, right? And to do the best job. Dogs, right? Well, how do they know the guy doesn't have a pit bull? These brokers, these mortgage, lenders who shop blind, they're going to get canceled after the insurance company goes out there and does an inspection and sees a pit bull or even a Doberman or even a German Shepherd back there. Not all companies take those. And then how about jewelry, fine art, collectibles? That's not standard coverage on a homeowner's policy. You have to pay extra for that to be covered properly. So, man, insurance is very important. What's the point, Phil? Differentiation. We're starting to wrap it up now, guys. Differentiation, right? Differentiate to the point to where you have no competitors. Work ethic is the easiest way. Knowledge is under your control as well. And then you have to have the product and offering. Differentiation is huge. We want 5-star Google reviews. I know JB Goodwin's huge on Google reviews. I promise you, I get calls every day from people who either they see on Nextdoor Goosehead Insurance or someone told them to go to Goosehead Insurance. They pull up Google and they call me from all over the state because at this point we have 152 5-star Google reviews. I'm putting a class together on Google My Business, visibility, and 5-star Google reviews. So I'm going to get with the trainers at JB Goodwin to put that together for you guys. But man, Google reviews are so important. But you're not going to get Google reviews unless you offer your client more than they're expecting. Exceed expectations. No one expected you to introduce them to your insurance agent. Exceed expectations. Client referrals. The strongest referral is a past client referral. We average two client referrals in 20. That's 2020. I mean, referrals are big in y'all's business. I know Sue knows. Sue's been doing this a long time, and it's amazing when you're busier than you want to than you really business just comes to you when you do a good job. Success and freedom, right? We're in this. I love making people's dreams come true. We hear all the realtors say that, and that's true, right? But at the end of the day, we have goals for our family and their finance. We want financial success, right? It provides freedom for us. And diligent hands bring wealth, right? There's nothing wrong with being successful. So that's why we're here, and that's I want to be a part of your success. Okay, and that's what the point is. That's the point. Is there's something worth doing? There's something worth doing right. We all put our pants on the same way, one leg at a time. What differentiates us is the time we choose to get out of bed, what we choose to do with our time, right? So establish your brand, right? Your brand is what you want to offer, and make sure that every investment, your time, money, energy, and resources is consistent with that brand, right? What's my brand? I don't know if y'all saw it on the bottom of any of these slides. It said responsive, responsible, professional. Responsive, quick quote turnaround. Responsible, we only sell quality coverage. Professional, we create an educational insurance experience. Now, everything we do and we've done over the past 7 years reinforces that. So I don't get sidetracked by shiny objects, shiny things. And at the end of the day, I look back and what's the Phil Delgado difference? I'm trying to build a brand here, and I have 7 agents on my team, and it's easy for them to understand what we're delivering because we do the same thing the same way every time. And if you guys don't have 3 core principles, you really that's something that I would encourage y'all to think about. What do you want to promise? And I have a class on that as well. So that's huge. Here we go. This is more business is a game of percentages, right? The majority of realtors, lenders, insurance agents out there are average, mediocre, lukewarm. They're sloppy. What takes you down to the elite level towards that? Being above average means being organized and being consistent. Being consistent means you start implementing some systems and processes. When you get to the great point, it's only 10% more than what the good agents do. The elite level, it's a matter of percentages. Confidence, differentiate yourself. I promise you, the biggest thing that has allowed us to be successful is our systems and processes. We have scripts, templates, and techniques that we use every single time the same way. And that's it. That's really the secret to our success is our systems and process, to be honest with you, and our 3 core principles. Here's what I would invite y'all to do so I can share some of this information with y'all. Text your name and email to this number here, 210-899-3801. I'll give y'all a minute to do that, and then I'll send y'all some of these slides that y'all can reference. And I'll send you the email connection template so you can start using insurance as a tool to add value.
Phil, can you repeat that phone number again? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
210.
Yeah, it's in that first box right there. Am I
Oh,
still
okay.
sharing? Yeah, 899-3801. And y'all can connect with me on LinkedIn. Pretty good LinkedIn profile. I spent a lot of time researching how to, because man, our clients are looking us up. You know, they're looking us up on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and there's a way to do it the right way. Part of my promise to JB was to always, and Aaron and Reagan, God bless his soul when he was here, was to add value. Honestly, my job is to be a resource to help JB Goodwin agents be more successful. So man, I want to put together a class on LinkedIn, you know, how to build a basic LinkedIn profile. Connect with us on Facebook as well, Goosehead Insurance, Phil Delgado Agency. And I'll share that information with y'all. The bottom line is, guys, if you don't use us, use the resources available to you. I promise you, you're not going to be bothering us. We have agents who call us, text us. That's our job, man. I love it, because otherwise, my biggest fear is to come to work and I get no emails, no text messages. You know, I asked JB one time. I says, when am I going to feel comfortable? He says, never, Phil. When you're comfortable is when you're going to go out of business. He says, I still wake up every day, and I'm scared of that phone call. Hey, JB, there's no one in the office, you know, but that's what keeps us hungry. And you know, that healthy fear. So man, hopefully I've given y'all guys a little bit of information, some knowledge, and some inspiration. Hopefully you can tell I'm a little bit passionate about what I do. It's just home insurance, but you know what? It's taking care of customers, and it's taking care of realtors, taking care of lenders. And at the end of the day, no one works harder than we do, and we're just blessed with success. But it goes back to taking care of people and serving. The money follows the service. And so, any questions from you guys? Awesome. Well, I appreciate y'all's time. 12:02, so we took it about an hour. Here's the deal, guys. If y'all have any feedback, text it to me or email it to me. Hey, Phil, share with me what the best part of the program was, maybe. Share with me what could have been better. The only way I can become better is through input from you guys, how I can better serve you guys, because that is really why I'm here, okay?
Phil, do you have a second?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know if you remember me. I was referred to you about 3 years ago through Phyllis Roberts.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm fully insured with you. That's home, motorcycle, vehicles, rental home, etc. I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to try to give you a visit, okay? Because